Welcome to Usable Efficiency. This is a website dedicated to improving the way that you build websites and improving websites themselves. This is episode 3 and the title is 5 Common Usability Mistakes that Frustrate Users. Number 1, no home button. So if we look at the mock-up example, we have a logo and some navigation. As you can see, there's no link there, certainly visually, to the home page. As a convention, us web designers tend to think that the logo links back to the homepage, which generally it does, but the thing there is that not all users know that convention. It's hard to get a statistic, but I would say roughly well below half actually know that the logo links back to the homepage specifically. The reason for a home link is generally that if users get stuck on your website, they want to start again, and what they normally do is go back to the home page and then start from there to try and find what they're looking for. So a home page button is exceptionally important on a website. So what's the solution? Well, it's very simply just to add one. If we look at the second revision here, one of the reasons certainly is that designers don't add in a home link is to save space in navigation. If there isn't enough horizontal space or whatever your navigation is, to try and save some space and add other things in there. One kind of halfway solution is to add a little home house icon like shown in that design. It's certainly not perfect, but it's better than having no home link at all. The full solution is, of course, just to have a text link that says home. Users understand that more than the little house icon, and it's just something that they would manage to use a lot easier. Number 2, no live email address. Many sites on the web hide their live email addresses because of one main reason: spam. So what do we mean by a live email address? Well, it's simply an ahref tag with a mail to and then the email address. So when the user clicks upon that, it opens up their default mail client so they can send you an email directly. Very easy for the user to do, and it's something that they're used to doing. There are a few different techniques that people use rather than using a live email address. The first is using special characters within a bit of text. So if we look at the example there, it's an email address, but it's been replaced with brackets, which say dot and at. So the user would be expected to copy and paste that into their email client and then replace those characters. To an everyday computer user like us, we would manage that no problem. We're used to doing things like that. But an everyday web user may very well struggle, and it's a very error-prone method of doing things. The second way is to just use a web form and have no live email address, but when we compare them, there are a few different problems. Firstly, users feel a lot more comfortable and confident using their default email client. They're used to using it, know the interface, and have complete confidence when sending an email that way. Secondly, generally on web forms, users can't send attachments. There are some exceptions to this. There are a lot of times when people will email you specifically with an attachment. Also with an email, they have a receipt of the communication. So they've got a sent folder, for instance, with a copy of what they have just sent you. With a web form, generally that doesn't happen. And finally, users really aren't that bothered about if you get spammed. They came to the site to complete a task, and the last of their worries is if you're going to get spammed. So does this mean that we shouldn't be using web forms? Absolutely not. You should give your user both a choice in sending an email by a live email address or by using a web form. The full episode continues at www.usable-efficiency.com. There you can see the full episode in HD quality.